That was actually genius. Like, imagine you captured some soldiers and then injected some stuff into their balls, and the 5 most horrific things the Dark Eldar have done. Warhammer 40k lore. Alright, let's see what they've done.
The bad guys within Warhammer 40k, you probably think about chaos, about
Yeah?
demons. Sure, the Dark Eldar are the bad guys, but they're just kind of doing their thing in the naughty corner, right?
Of course.
Like, sure, they take slaves and torture people, but so does Chaos, right? Well,
Right.
yeah. But saying Chaos and the Dark Eldar are at the same level of evil is like saying that the 18-year-old drunk kid who got caught peeing in a playground at nighttime and is now a registered sex offender is on the
Yeah.
same level as Jeffrey Dahmer. The Dark Eldar just take things to a whole
That sounded a little bit too specific.
another level. So much so, in fact, that I thought it'd be worth checking out the 5 worst things the Dark Eldar have ever done. After all, they are extremely creative when it comes to absolutely ruining someone's shit.
Wait, it's like
Before we get
5
started, I
things
just wanted to
worse
quickly
than
say
death,
thank you
right?
for the amazing support on the recent Patreon posts. Amazing to see hundreds of new people join up to support the channel. I mean, incredibly attractive half-naked female Warhammer cosplay definitely helps, but the point remains. I'll definitely be looking for future models and cosplay shoots for the future. Maybe the hawk-eyed viewers of you have even noticed some of the new items we have going on in the background.
Of course.
To say cheers for this recent explosion in support, I've commissioned my best artist to make a new sexy Warhammer piece for all patrons $1 and up. That's it legitimately just costs $1. Obviously, if you want to give me more, that's mad, but I never really wanted the Patreon to be this like premium $15 club thingo. Each person giving me $1 a month is already supporting the channel around 800 times more than someone giving $0. That's pretty dope. Today we'll go over 5 of the most twisted, horrific, and low-key awesome things the Dark Eldar have done, showing that they really are the baddest of them all.
See, this is the reason why I don't think the whole, what do you call those political officers? Commissars! Why commissars wouldn't work? Because just imagine facing this versus facing a bullet to the head. Choose the bullet. Any sane person would definitely choose the bullet.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
There is nothing quite as cute as Tau naivety. Sure, in the current setting they have learnt a lot of harsh lessons and have become just as douchey, racist, and jaded as any other 40k faction, but their first interaction with the other factions was always a treat, for the reader, not for the Tau. The most horrific of these meetings was between the Dark Eldar and the Tau. The Tau weren't aware that the Dark Eldar captured billions of slaves and then murder-fucked them to death. So when the Dark Eldar offered to help the Tau defend themselves against the Tyranids, the results were horrifying. The Dark Eldar initially proved to be steadfast allies. Their weapons and tactics were really good against the Nids, and combined with Tau forces, the space bugs were squashed without too much drama. Then the Dark Eldar requested their price for their aid, 77 Tau of each caste as well as 7 ethereals. The Tau didn't really know what the Dark Eldar wanted the 77 of each caste for, as the Dark Eldar just called it a cultural exchange. But the Tau did not want to hand over 7 ethereals, as each ethereal is like a literal Tau Jesus in their empire, so they gave over the 308 Tau but no ethereals. Next time the Dark Eldar fought for the Tau, they employed the use of new gene-crafted abominations that moaned in agony as they fought and killed the Nids. The Tau realized, to their horror, that the new abominations were the 308 Tau fused together to form agonized, crazed juggernauts. This was obviously a bit too fucked up for the Tau, who then called for reinforcements from a nearby world and tried to destroy the Dark Eldar fleet. However, in return, the Dark Eldar then stealthily traveled to the now undefended nearby world, sieging it, pillaging it, and raping it, before stealing its entire populace to be used as slaves, fleshlights, or materials for new abominations. Why did the Dark Eldar do this? Well, because they thought it was funny.
Why not?
It's unclear if the Dark Eldar would have honored
it's a grim dark world.
if they had been given their 7 ethereals, or if they would have fucked them over anyway. But regardless, the Tau found out the hard way. Funnily enough, their naivety was such that they didn't realize that the Dark Eldar and other Eldar factions were different, so they attacked Exodite Eldar in revenge, causing a war between the Tau and the Eldar over a misunderstanding bred from a bunch of blue bovine aliens not understanding that spiky, cruel fuckboys were different from the rest of the Eldar race. This next horrifying Dark Eldar moment isn't so much a single moment as a fun little collection. The homunculi are the Dark Eldar responsible for most of the bad shit, as they are the ones that figured out how to keep someone alive and conscious well beyond when they should be dead, or at least unconscious.
Messed up it is to know this. There's an IRL art where you can actually, I don't know where, I honestly can't remember, but I vaguely remember reading about something that there's this particular craft where they basically teach you how to rip someone's heart out surgically. I'm not sure if it's even you can call it surgery. You can surgically rip someone's heart out while they're still alive. So they could act while they're consciously still alive, because at a certain threshold a person would faint. Like, you have the Vikings, they have the blood eagle, but there was this other craft where you could rip someone's heart out and they could actually make them watch. Because apparently the blood eagle was too crude, it's considered to be too crude, that the victim would pass out from the pain. So before you can complete the ritual, the blood eagle ritual, the person would have been dead by then, or would have passed out from the pain early on, that they wouldn't, be conscious of what exactly is happening to them. But there's this particular craft or particular ritual where you can rip out someone's heart and you can actually make them watch and make them realize that you're holding their heart. I can't even remember the name of that book I've been reading, but you know what? There's a certain reason why some parts of the libraries are restricted.
Some of their highlights include flame.
I mean, not just because of mold and moisture, but they actually lock out some parts of the library for good reason.
Cleansing, drilling, and desecrating a bunch of slaves and turning them into living wind chimes. So
Wind
whenever the wind
chimes.
passes through them, it causes
Nice.
them insane agony, whilst also producing.
And so they scream
music due
out.
to the way they're exposed.
So they're like human. What they're like the equivalent to the version of human whatchamacallit? Human wind chimes. Early warning device. So basically every time they feel air, it would hurt and they would scream out.
Whose bone and sinew have been carved. Another cute little trick they
choose the
employ is being
commissar's
able to
bullet,
put
you
someone in
guys.
stasis, but keep their mind awake. This doesn't sound too bad until you imagine lying down in the dark, unable to move but completely awake the entire time, for decades, centuries, or millennia. That would be fucking horrific. They've
Yeah.
also managed to carve people up, using their flesh, organs, and nerves to create a living chandelier, keeping the new fleshy ornaments alive and aware for the entire thing. They've even literally
Wait, Rick and Morty, there was this episode from I can't remember what season where there was this entire spear where they have tortured Mortys.
people into
Can't
sentient
remember.
soup, and then either consumed it or given it to others to consume. Sentient fucking soup. No one can match the twisted gene craft of the homunculi. They can even bring the Dark Elder back from the dead, even if all they can recover is pieces of flesh or limbs. Pretty much any fucked, humiliating torture that you can conceive of has been tried and tested by the homunculi on pretty much every faction. Chaos Lords have been turned into furniture, fuck, even Custodes haven't been spared. It's horrifying shit. This next one is a great example of how trivial everyone else's idea of psychological warfare is compared to the Dark Elder. The Night Lords like to think of themselves as masters of torture, fear, and darkness.
They like
the
to think
Dark
of
Elder
themselves as
decided it was
that.
time to show the Sons of Nostramo who was boss. The Night Lords had recently attacked the Dark Elder ship, killing a few homunculi on board. After being brought back to life, the homunculi decided to teach those Astartes a lesson. They tracked the Night Lords to a world that the traitor marines begun tormenting, but they did it in such a classic vanilla way. Destroy the world's power grids, turn off the lights, and then begun hunting and killing. The Dark Elder had a
Definitely
better way.
vanilla.
They brought a device that shrouded the entire planet in absolute darkness.
Why?
Darkness so overwhelming that even the Night Lords couldn't see through it. Then the Dark Elder used thousands of mandrakes, horrifying shadow monsters, to ambush and kill the Night Lords. During this time, the Night Lords slowly but surely begun to fear the dark, their own tactics being used significantly more effectively against them. Eventually, they were able to destroy the device, but upon the darkness receding, they found the world stripped of all life and many of their battle brothers dead or gone. To make matters worse, the surviving Night Lords all now had an intense fear of the dark. Space Marines rarely feel fear and are always able to overcome it. However, the Dark Elder had made the Night Lords, the self-proclaimed masters of darkness, absolutely shit scared of their own shadows.
Yep.
The Dark Elder often uses
That should
classic
do it.
unbeatable bad guys, sometimes even quite incompetent. However, if you personally piss off an Archon or notable Dark Elder character, you are going to have a shit one. The Raven Guard learnt this the hard way. See, the Raven Guard had been striking against the Dark Elder subfaction and had been succeeding, so the Dark Elder laid a trap, luring the Raven Guard onto a world and then engaging them in battle. They killed some, captured a few more, however the heroics
There
of
we
the
go.
Raven Guard led them to free their battle brothers. Overall, seemingly a victory for the Raven Guard. However, this was all according to plan. 100 years later, all of those captured Raven Guard who were freed, or new Raven Guard who were created using the gene seed taken from those original captured Raven Guard, rapidly mutated into monsters that attacked their allies. Thus, the Raven Guard lost warriors from the initial battle, lost warriors who had been captured, and lost warriors in the monster attack. To make matters worse, the Raven Guard couldn't detect the flawed gene seed virus, so they had to kill an entire generation of aspirants to ensure the Dark Elder gene seed virus was destroyed.
Jesus Christ! That was actually genius. Like, imagine you captured some soldiers and then injected some stuff into their balls, sent them back to their original home country. Then their children are going to come out as messed up.
Back for the Sons of Corvus. Imagine getting devastated by a small forgotten skirmish a century before. That kind of shit really builds up the paranoia. And finally, the most horrifying, terrifying thing the Dark Elder can do is purely just exist. For all the suffering they inflict, Dark Elder have it so much worse. Imagine you are a Dark Elder. You are vat grown into a dark city full of rapists and murderers.
Of course.
You are at the bottom of the pecking order, hunted for sport and forced to live like a degenerate to survive. Suicide isn't an option, as that would mean your soul is consumed by Slaanesh, a fate much worse than death. You also can't just hide or escape, as your body would start withering as Slaanesh claimed it. The only way to stop this slow withering death is to inflict pain. To do this, you have to join a cabal, likely by impressing the Archon via killing other Dark Eldar. Once you're in the cabal, your struggles have only really just begun, risking your life on raids in Imperial space, always watching your back against your fellow warriors who would slit your throat at a moment's notice if they think
that's messed up.
Their standing. Even Vect, Lord of Commorragh,
you literally have to sleep with one eye open.
And the most revered Dark Elder in existence, is constantly—
Wait, what's so bad about giving over, but resigning from your own existence and handing it over to Slaanesh?
paranoid about assassins and—
Can someone please put it down in the comments?
traitors. The dude—
Because again, facing this versus facing the commissar's bullet is definitely more inviting.
has been killed before. Your life is a constantly paranoid existence, where
See,
you can
one
trust
eye
nobody
open.
and everyone hates you. There is also no escape. The only way to actually have a chance at a somewhat not dog shit life is to renounce the Dark Elder and join the Ynnari or a craft world. That's right, the only way to avoid the horrors of being a Dark Elder is to stop being a Dark Elder. So the next time a Dark Elder is skinning your flesh whilst destroying your asshole with their spiky metal strap-on, just remember who the real victim is. It's important to have empathy. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Where only $1 per month gives you access to a boatload of battle-based 40 million hentai, as well as some live action nude cosplays. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more terrifying content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Bye! Thank you for watching, guys. Now, if you want me to check out other stories here on YouTube, please let me know in the comments. We upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 PM Eastern Standard. Please like, share, subscribe, do the whole notification button thing to help me out with the algo. And don't forget to check out our Twitch channel where you can catch me do this live. Now, class dismissed.